Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss a series of releases from WhistlePig in its Farmstock series. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me welcoming my co-host Steve Akeley, along with our special guests Demetrius and Darren McElroy.
Hey gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hey y'all.
Hey-o. So Farmstock is the grains that are grown on the WhistlePig farm and that they're turned into whiskey. So supposedly this is the series where this is the stuff that we truly make. So not only are we distilling it, but we're creating it out of grains from our farm in Vermont. We know that WhistlePig's in Vermont, so we'll talk about that and these new offerings after the break. For right now, Miss Beka Sue said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Beka?
Yes, so I wanted to know if you guys are truck, SUV, or car people, and why it is that you are
That's a good
what
question.
you are.
Yeah. That's an excellent question.
There was a lot of accusations in that tone right there.
I just want to know why you are how you are,
Yes.
Demetrius.
What are you, Demetrius?
I am a mechanically inclined individual. I love anything machine, tractors, cars, SUVs.
But you've got a fucking preference.
Yeah.
Truck, SUV, or car. Everyone's got a preference.
I would say that it has evolved over time. I grew up loving cars. So I started out restoring and rebuilding cars. That went into classic trucks. I would say matured. And now I do classic farm machinery. So I have an entire collection of old tractors. All of them are operational. I use them all the time, and I just restore them when they need it.
But for transporting yourself,
what are you driving?
What do you drive?
What are you driving? I mean, I love old vehicles, but I don't want to drive one around on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I want to. What do you think is the best type of vehicle to drive around?
Well, I'd say an economical car, but it's not the funnest. My 7.3 F450 diesel is it is a fantastic truck. It has so much power. I've rebuilt it twice. Full flatbed, a giant fucking limousine of a truck. And I love that thing.
Becca, we're going to guess based on what he said. He hasn't answered the question, but he's given us evidence. Guy. Yeah, we're going to guess truck.
He's a truck guy.
But I drive also economical small cars.
Okay.
Which is fine, but you're a truck guy. That's what you are at your heart. You're a truck guy.
He's a truck guy.
There's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to explain it. You just have to are you a fucking truck guy?
Right.
That's the main thing I want to know.
Yeah. Okay. Darren?
I would say, even though I want to be a truck guy, I've always liked a truck, but I've never bought one myself. But I'm an SUV guy. I don't like sitting down low in cars. I hate it. It drives me nuts. I drive my dad will be like, "Hey, you want to drive me up to the airport? You can drive my car." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. It's on the ground. I'm good." Like,
right.
I don't want that. So I like being up off the ground a little bit.
Yeah.
SUV guy.
SUV. I'm gonna round out the possibilities, and we'll ask Becca in a second what she is. Maybe she'll break the tie, I guess. But I am just a car guy. I mean, that's all I want to drive, and it goes back to the first time when gas spiked over $5 a gallon. And if we remember that, at that point, we had a pickup truck. We had 2 cars at the house, a pickup truck and a Jeep Wrangler. Both got terrible gas mileage. You're talking about maybe 16 on the truck, and the Wrangler was probably about 12, something like that. And you'd fill up those vehicles, and you're talking about, so say they're both empty and you go fill them up, you're talking about, $200 to fill up 2 cars. And I realized at that point, I don't know what's going to happen. Gas has to go down again, but it's going to probably come up again. And I don't want to ride that wave anymore. I don't want to spend $200 every time I'm filling up the tanks on a couple cars. So we went economical. So now we just have economical cars. We always do. We don't do any sort of hybrid. I don't like any of that stuff. Don't get me started on that stuff. I don't like any electric vehicles or anything. I think that stuff is incredibly dumb. In theory, yes, I like it and support it. They don't have it down yet. They're not even close to having it down. So I like combustion engine cars that get good gas mileage. I drive an Elantra on the highway. When I fill that up from empty, I get 500 miles. I can drive 500 miles on a single tank of gas that is like 10.5 gallons. I mean, it's great. I love my little Elantra. The wife has a small Hyundai as well, Accent, and she gets, 35 miles per gallon or something. That's great. We fill up both of our cars, and it's $60 for 2 of us. And
it's exactly what you want.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what my priority is. Yeah.
See, there's priorities about what it is that you want.
Yeah.
I've driven cars. I've driven SUVs. I've driven trucks. I'm an SUV kind of girl. For one, and this might sound stupid for the reasons, but I like SUVs for one, because of the fact I am generally the grocery getter. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that my SUV is temperature controlled. And so my groceries can be cold because they're inside of the SUV, although it's in the very back. That might sound silly, but guess what? Trunks get hot in cars. A truck, I'm not going to put my groceries in the fucking back of the truck.
Right.
And if I do, they're going to melt, or I'm going to have to put them in the back fucking seat, which I don't really enjoy doing that with my groceries either. I'd rather have them in a trunk kind of situation. So I like that with an SUV. I also like the SUV better because of the fact that I can still go through snow, mud, all that stuff. I grew up in North Dakota. I needed to be able to get through weather situations. Right. So cars were never a good option, I guess. Right. So I am SUV all the way. I'll drive a car if I have to. I'm with Darren in the fact that I hate being that fucking low to the ground. Yeah. I absolutely hate being so low to the ground. I do like trucks for just because I do like trucks. But I don't like parking trucks. I don't like driving trucks to go into the city and park in a fucking parking garage or anything like that. I fucking hate having a truck to go into a parking garage.
They don't work in parking garages.
Am I going to be hitting the roof? Because I've done that. And that's horrible.
I just hate parking garages in general.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing. Parking garages already suck. And then on top of it, to have a fucking truck that's maybe too tall. And then on top of that, depending on what type of truck you have, the fucking turn radius, you're like, well, I guess I can only make a left turn into this spot. I can only find it on the left. Or I can only find it on the right side because otherwise I have to make a 22-point turn to get into this spot because it's already only fucking 8 foot wide. So I can't get into it anyways or even fit. But it just, I'm an SUV person. That's what I am.
Yeah, there you go.
Just makes sense.
Now to throw a little, because although I love trucks, because we talked about this, I love.
You have economical stuff though too.
But my daily driver, I put probably 25 to 30 miles on my truck a week, maybe. Normally, I drive a Honda Civic every single day. That thing gets 48 miles per gallon.
Right. There you go.
Our company, we have company vehicles, and they're little tiny SUVs. The biggest thing is we had to be able to haul a whole barrel in every vehicle because we do self-distribution in Missouri. So when we do single barrels, we have to be able to deliver them. So, I'd kind of say what Steve was saying is the economics of it. I grew up, I've lived through twice where it's been under $4.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so I'm not going to have a vehicle that I can't afford to get to work on.
Yeah.
but like in the truck, it's, for the truck, it's more of a practicality thing. Of like, I'm going out through the middle of a field and I have to
You're working.
carry
Yeah, you need it.
pallets of fence posts. And although I would recommend anybody that has a truck, bolt a cooler to the back of it. I have a big old cooler, one of those Ozark Trail coolers, bolted to the back of my truck, and I can keep all my groceries, or 4 6-packs or 12 packs or 24.
Sure.
Packs.
Whatever is necessary.
Yeah.
Also with a welder next to it, but
Yeah.
Which
Very
makes
nice.
sense.
Yeah, it does. That's a good question. I was interested to see what people said. So,
Yeah.
all right. On that note, it is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start with Demetrius this time. Demetrius, what do you got?
I am drinking the most recent barrel pick of Copper Dome whiskey.
Okay.
And if I can get I'm going to actually do a cork pop on a different one because the cork just can't part on that one. Nope.
Okay. Nothing. Literally, we'll have to work on Demetrius and a microphone. Maybe we'll do a GoFundMe and we'll get him on.
I'm just trying to take Tim's spot.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Tim's finally got his down now. Yeah. Well, listen to you. Darren's all confident. Remember how bad his were? And
Yeah.
he's got this microphone now. Yeah.
I got a Peerless rye whiskey here.
Okay. Well,
Didn't matter.
Not much there. I've got a Knob Creek 15-year-old Knob Creek. Pretty nice, right? All right, here we go. Slide on the set. Oh, this is a problem. All right, I think I got it. Okay.
Not bad.
That's enough
In
to
the
take
lead,
the lead.
for sure.
I got the lead. We'll
Those
see what
Knob
Beka's
Creek
got.
ones they break off sometimes.
Yeah, they're tough. Because
And they're already hard to pull off anyways, because they're like the exact same size as the top. Like, and they're
very
smaller.
very thin.
Horrible cork.
And then they got
We're gonna need to make
a.
we need to start. We need to sign a petition.
Right. We got to do something.
Change our
there.
fucking corks.
Yeah, corks are bad.
I have got some Wood Hat, bourbon Rubenesque. This is that 142 proof.
Oh, nice.
Nice, easy drinker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I grabbed this.
That's good.
But here we are. So.
Okay. That's from the ABV Barrel Shop. Okay. I don't know. Who won that, Darren? Beka or me?
I think it was Beka, mostly because I don't remember yours. So
I know. See, this is where the problem with throwing it to a judge. You have to live with what they say.
I love these
As long as it
judges.
is. Yeah. So, cheers, gang.
cheers.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about this new series from our friends at WhistlePig. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. We're also sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop focuses exclusively on barrel picks. It's the job of owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot to seek out distilleries that are making the best whiskey in the world, taste through their barrels, and select the ones that are off-profile in the best way possible. They have high standards and refuse to allow anything into their store other than something they would be proud to have their name on. This leads to some really awkward conversations with distilleries that can't make it, but they do it for you, their customers. Learn more about what is going on at their St. Louis-based store by heading over to abvbarrelshop.com. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the wards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
This is Evan Neaters, and you're listening to the Bourbon Daily. Cheers.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about the Farmstock series.
Yes, we are. So I know the example of WhistlePig cutting out the secondary is used quite a bit. So they've got their pricing where they cut out the secondary, and people pump out their chest and say that's really cool that they've done that. That basically put them in the witness protection program. Do you ever hear anything about WhistlePig anymore? No. WhistlePig is they've made their own bed and now they're lying in it, I guess. But they do have their Farmstock series, which is something that they came out with, I don't know, a couple of years ago now, I guess, of grain that is grown on the actual farm. Now they're expanding that series with a couple other ones in there now. So here's what they say the Farmstock series is. The grains are grown on WhistlePig Farm. They use the WhistlePig well water, so that's the water that's actually used to create that. It is Vermont grown oak for the barrels. That's kind of cool if they are actually sourcing the barrels locally, which is cool. On the Farmstock series, there's a QR code on the bottle. You can trace where all the ingredients are from. So they're going to tell you what the journey was to get from the farm to that bottle in your hand. These are 100 proof bottle and bond expressions. There are 3 of them that are out there now. 100% rye, 100% wheat, and straight high rye bourbon, which is 51% corn, 49% rye. So
can't get much higher rye.
Yeah, that's a very interesting grain bill for sure. So obviously they're using enzymes. There's no malted barley in any of these. So interesting as well. So, but I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't hear a whole lot from WhistlePig these days. And I saw this, I thought it's at least interesting. We could talk about it. What do you guys think about this one?
I think it's interesting, especially because usually when you see all these grain to glass distilleries, they're smaller. WhistlePig's a big national brand. Like I'm pretty sure it's in all 50 states, and it's weird that they're going back to do this step now. I feel like that's a little backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been having stuff for years. We're going to start doing just things that are grown on this farm and going back to the small, caring about everything.
But now it's their own stuff. So much of the WhistlePig stuff was completely sourced. I mean, it was really a source brand. They're getting a lot of Canadian whiskey Canadian ryes that they were selling and stuff like that. So now they're looking at being a real distillery, and it has a very small feel to this, but it's because when you're actually doing your own thing, you start out small, right? So yeah. So it's interesting. Well, Demetrius, what do you think about this? This is what you do. I mean, you grow your own grains and stuff like that. What do you think about somebody big like WhistlePig now offering something in their Farmstock series here?
I think it's cool, the idea behind it. As a smaller producer, we've sure had to sweat and fight for every inch that we've gained. So it's kind of annoying when somebody that has the money of some of these large distilleries. It's like,
whoa, easy there, Darren. What was that?
There's a truck outside.
Oh, I thought that was Darren. He's just letting go after.
So confused. Tim Squat does not need to analyze that. That was a Jake break outside my window.
We'll have to put one of those Jake breaking signs outside.
I know. We need to get those fucking signs up. They're disrupted. It needs to say no Jake break from 6 p.m. on Sundays until 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. on Sundays.
Yeah, because you're podcasting. I have a little podcasting microphone.
I'll put a sign up that says no Jake break.
Okay.
Sorry. Anyways.
All right. Sorry, Demetrius. You were talking.
I would say that it's kind of the same thing that I'd say any small producer feels like when you have a large national brand. Start using terminology or start trying to make it, because it's like the amount of power and influence they have, they'll release it and it'll be distributed in all 50 states.
Yeah.
Overnight. But at the same time, it's like, I think it's kind of, I think it's cool that people are putting importance on it, because sometimes those bigger brands, they've got the money to throw behind it, and you can kind of see different things that maybe work in their strategy. And then as a smaller, more nimble company, you can come in and capitalize where maybe they couldn't fully capitalize on something. And I think that you see that time and again with, some of the smaller distilleries that have been around long enough that they know, they can look at the bigger brand and say, okay, that worked really well for so-and-so. Well, what did they fail at within that strategy, and how can I capitalize on it because I'm smaller? So I think it's cool that, there's some of those things that are coming to, people care about that, and it's a way to, terminology they may use might be able to be, capitalized on by smaller producers as well.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about this, Beka?
I'm fine with it. I honestly, I wouldn't buy these bottles, but I would like to taste through that lineup at a bar,
Right.
or a restaurant.
A flight. This would be a flight.
Yeah,
you
I would
try.
love to have the flight of this just to
Right.
see what they're actually fucking producing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frankly, literally, because that was one of the first. That's one of the first whiskeys I guess I really saw that I was like, oh, this must be something cool, because I'd never really seen it before, really heard about it, and I was like, oh, this must be a really cool one to get. And so I, for a while before I knew anything, was like, oh, WhistlePig, yeah, that's like the cool stuff.
Right.
But it's because I didn't know anything about it yet. And so then once I was like, they fucking source everything, that kind of sucks. So I want to see what it is that they have been fucking making.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I'm always that's what I'm interested in. Is what have you been making?
Right. So
what is the real stuff that what can you actually do?
Yes.
Also, who the fuck is your distiller? I don't know anything about you guys.
Right. What might be cool about this, I would assume this is Dave made this. I would guess. I mean, right? Because he's been gone 3 years. This is Bottle and Bond, so I would assume this is a project he had laid down and did, which is kind of cool. So yeah.
And I know the current farm stock that you can find on shelves is 6 years old. So
okay. Yeah,
definitely.
Do you know the price of the current farm stock?
I think it's 60 to 70 ish.
Yeah, I don't think it's an expensive
so it's
product.
I don't think that one's bottled and bond. I really don't. So this is you're trying to do this whole lineup, and then the last three are bottled and bond. I wonder if the other one's going to come up to bottled and bond.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So was that previous farm stock? Was that stuff they had made before?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know they'd put out stuff that they actually made.
Yeah, it's pretty well received. So yeah. So this has potential to be good. I mean, we'll see.
So if you guys walked into a store and you had to buy one and you couldn't leave until you bought one, because it's how this game's going to work. And there was the rye, the wheat, and the high rye bourbon. Which one are you reaching for? Is there one that's more interesting?
Yes. Okay, that's a good question. I like the question a lot. I would say the one that I would pick up. So everyone has to answer. The one that I'm going to pick up is the straight high rye bourbon. I think that's an interesting mash bill. 51% corn, 49% rye. Usually you will see, especially Kentucky, bourbons. We'll have that's a high rye, might be higher, but not this high. So this is a very high rye, truly a high rye bourbon. You can't get any higher than that, actually. So I think that's just interesting and unique enough. That would be the one I would pick up. Would you guys feel the same or differently? And if so, what's your thought behind whatever you're going to pick up?
I'm going that 100% wheat.
Okay,
just
that's an interesting one.
Yeah, that's.
Wheat is a hard one. Just think about think about the big brands. There's some wheated whiskey out there, and some of the big brands can't even get it right.
Exactly.
That's a hard whiskey to get right. A 100% wheat whiskey.
And so I know that it's a stretch. There again. This is not Darren. That was that sounded like a motorcycle going by.
Yeah.
Yeah, say if wheat, whenever wheat is
done
well.
If they can get that right, they've done it well.
I love a good wheat when wheat is done well.
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic.
It's not often done well though, so that's to me that was for me that would have been my second choice because
I'd just like to see how it is.
And I like 100% rye, but there's a lot of them out there, and there's good ones. We have a great one in the store right now. Actually, it's common. It happens. So, Demetrius, this would be interesting to get your take on this. What are your thoughts?
I want to try the high rye bourbon.
Okay. Yeah. That's
because we've got a mash bill that's 5140. It's 4% malted barley.
okay.
So everybody
Yeah.
similar, and it's just it'd be interesting to try.
Yeah.
Pulled off.
Right. See what they got.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That'd be
Darren, which one has your attention here? You do like
I
rye.
think- So just from what I've noticed about whiskey, I would go with the 100% rye. I love rye.
Okay.
And typically it's a lot easier to do than bourbon, in my opinion. Like a lot of new distilleries, their rye is always, I think, a little bit better than their
to
bourbon.
maturation quicker. So
Yeah.
it
And
just
so I
matures
think
quicker.
I would give them the benefit of the doubt and go for the easy one, or the 100% wheat, because like you said, that's the big leagues. Like that's hard to do. Let's see what you got with the one.
If they can do that, they're doing good. So so we'll see. Fun stuff. So a new product out there. It's enough to get us talking about it. So whether or not we'd be buyers, you know what? If we taste it and we like it, it would be something we'd seek out at a bar. And if we like it, you know what? If you like it, you're going to buy a bottle. That's just the way it is. If they're doing good enough where you're tasting like, son of a bitch, this is so good. There's enough interest there that they'll get you to taste it. And then that's all they can ask, I think. I mean, taste it. And if you like it, buy it. And I think they're at that point here with this offering. So there you go. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Darren, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at The Bourbon Adventures. Also 5 days a week at the ABV Barrel Shop.
Demetrius.
You can find me at demetriuskane.mo on Instagram and Facebook, or at Nobletons on Instagram and Facebook.
All right, Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. That's the one you want to check out. Everything that we want to do is out there. We've got some previous shows where we've interviewed some of the WhistlePig crew. We've had other WhistlePig shows. So if you want to check those out, search on abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us, the ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We've always got some great barrel picks, and we'd love for you to taste them. And if you like them, you can pick them up at abvbarrelshop.com. You can see what we have in stock. You do have to buy it at the store, though. We have no online purchasing or anything like that. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some of the great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro is owned and operated by Russell Creed, who makes stills for the hobby distiller. He offers a one-stop shop for everything the at-home distiller needs. Whether it's a small, experimental stovetop still or something bigger you run outside, he has the still or parts you would have difficulty fabricating yourself if you were trying to build a DIY still project. Additionally, he has resources to assist in creating unique distilled spirits, including heirloom grains, barrels for aging, and recipes. Check out Russell's company online at moonshinestillpro.com. Finally, I have a question for you. Have you ever boxed a bear? Of course not. That'd be silly. Bears really don't follow the rules, so shots in the back of the head, punches to the nuts, and scrums after the bell would be the norm. A better idea would be to enjoy Boxing Bear Whiskey, a brand crafted by Nobleton's Distilling House in Union, Missouri, and sold exclusively at the ABV Barrel Shop in suburban St. Louis. This is a popular offering that sells out quickly, but when you're in town, stop by the ABV Barrel Shop and see if they have it in stock. Better yet, sign up for their email and text distribution over at abvbarrelshop.com, and you'll know exactly when it is in stock. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.